A superb general and politician, Julius Caesar changed the course of Roman history. Caesar was born around 100 BC and died in 44 BC, after a short 3-year reign. Although he did not rule for long, he gave Rome a fresh hope and a whole new dynasty of emperors. Historians place the generalship of Caesar as one of the greatest military strategists and tacticians who ever lived, along with Alexander the Great, Hannibal, and Napoleon Bonaparte. Caesar suffered occasional tactical defeats. However, his tactical brilliance was highlighted by such feats as his circumvallation of Alesia during the Gallic War. Born into an aristocratic family around 100 BC, Julius Caesar grew up in dangerous times. Rome could not yet handle its own size and power. The nobility were widely discredited, and order had given way to chaos. The only clear alternative was military dictatorship. Caesar allied himself against the nobility. As his career took off, he won a number of political offices, not always by reputable means. By 63 BC, he had become a well-known but controversial figure. Despite his notoriety, he was appointed governor of Farther Spain. This was a lucrative position because it offered him the chance to plunder the local inhabitants at will. He returned to Rome in 60 BC, and the following year was elected consul, the highest office in the Republic. Now holding real power, Caesar allied himself with two key people, Pompey and Crassus. Pompey was a war hero who had been badly treated by the Senate, while Crassus was a multi-millionaire. The two men were rivals, but Caesar was able to bridge the gap between them, and the three men formed the powerful First Triumvirate. As consul, Caesar wanted to pay off Pompey's soldiers by allocating them public lands. This was unpopular, so to get the measure through, he engineered a riot and used chaos to get his own way. Then, he used his power to secure the governorship of Gaul, modern-day France and Belgium. Gaul gave Caesar a power base to recruit soldiers and conduct the military campaigns that would make his name and secure his fortune. Between 53 and 50 BC, Julius Caesar conquered Gaul. The Gauls resisted Caesar's army and revolt, and were led by a young Gallic chieftain, Vercingetorix. The siege of Alesia forced them to surrender, and Gaul was won. Julius Caesar turns his attention to seizing supreme power in Rome itself. Between 58 and 50 BC, Caesar used his expertise in military strategy, along with the Roman army's training and discipline, to conquer and subdue the rest of Gaul, up to the Rhine River. When battling foreign enemies, Caesar was ruthless. Besieging rebels in what is now the Dordogne part of France, he waited until their water supply ran out and then cut off the hands of all the survivors. He now turned his attention back home. His triumvirate was badly strained. Pompey was increasingly jealous of Caesar's success, and Crassus still hated Pompey. After Crassus was killed in battle, Pompey and Caesar drifted apart, ultimately finding themselves on opposite sides. By now, Caesar was very successful, but he had many enemies and found his position and his life under threat. He believed the only way he could protect himself was by seizing power. In January 49 BC, he led his troops across the Rubicon River into Italy and starting the Civil War. Caesar scored some early victories, and by 46 BC was dictator of Rome. After a year spent eliminating his remaining enemies, he returned home. Generous in victory, he was kind to his defeated rivals, giving them all the amnesties and even inviting some to join him in government. Yet his position remained insecure. Without a son of his own, he needed an heir. Caesar quickly adopted his great-nephew, Augustus. He also moved fast to strengthen the northern borders of the empire and tackle its enemies in the east. At home, he reformed the Roman calendar, tackled local government, resettled veterans into new cities, made the Senate more representative, and granted citizenship to many foreigners. Caesar's successful campaigning in any terrain and under all weather conditions owes much to the strict but fair discipline of his legionaries, whose admiration and devotion to him were proverbial due to his promotion those of skill over those of nobility. Caesar's infantry and cavalry were first-rate, and he made heavy use of the formidable Roman artillery and his army's superlative engineering abilities. There was also the legendary speed with which he maneuvered his troops. Caesar's army sometimes marched as many as 40 miles a day, and you thought you had a long drive to school each day. Imagine marching 40 miles to school through rain with full armor day after day. His commentaries on the Gallic Wars describe how during the siege on one Gallic city, built on a very steep and high plateau, his engineers tunneled through solid rock, found the source of the spring from which the town was drawing its water supply, and diverted it to the use of the army. The town, cut off from the water supply, capitulated at once. But his rule would be cut short. All enemies joined forces with some of his supporters, fed up with his dictatorial style. On March 15th, 44 BC, the Ides of March, Caesar was assassinated in the Senate. Although his own rule was unremarkable, his victory in the Civil War replaced a republic, ruled by the consuls and the Senate, with an empire reigned over by emperors and their hereditary successors. It was the start of a brand new age for Rome.